So, I recently saw a DieselPatches video on ranking the Vanoss crew by edginess. However, I have some problems with this video. The biggest one for me is that, well, it's objectively incorrect. As someone who's been watching this group since about 2013 when GT Online released, I'd say I'm very experienced and I'm more able to give better opinions and advice on this specific topic. Secondly, he ranked them all based off of edginess. I think that's a horrible way to rank them. The better way to rank them would be off of general humorness rather than straight up edginess. Because if we did it purely based off of edginess, Moose Knuckle would be in D tier every time, and I don't think that's fair to him. I'll explain why here in a little bit. Edgy jokes rely more on shock humor, rather than whether it's actually funny. So it's more fair to give the quote-unquote safer members a chance too. Thirdly, and you might have noticed this in the selection below, he included people that I would call non-core members. People like Smitty, Sark, Cryos, Droid. They would all normally belong on this list, don't get me wrong. But the reason I don't have them included here is because they don't appear in videos all that often. When they do, it's a real treat. But it's not something like Terrorizer or Nogla, who's more or less guaranteed to be in every video uploaded. So, those three problems are things I'm going to be taking into account with this ranking. I've done enough talking, so let's get started on with it. D tier, the Group Destroyer. Well, we all know the only two people who are going to be on here, so let's start with the first one, Mini Lad. You know, I used to really be a fan of this guy. I thought he made genuinely funny jokes and genuinely interesting content. But ever since I found out he went to go pick up a cupcake, if you know what I mean, I can't look at him the same. Not to mention all the shitty things he did beforehand, such as cutting off the group and talking shit about Terrorizer. This dude is bottom of the barrel, so he belongs in D tier. Now, OmniWrecker, or whatever his name is.
OmniWrecker, whatever his name is.
I can't even begin to describe what he's done myself. There's just too much to go into. But he also cut off the group and talked shit about the people in it. Not only did he try accusing them of all being mini lads to keep it YouTube friendly, but there was one point, and I'll try to find the screenshot of the tweet, if not, I'll have a picture of Barack Obama on the screen, where he tried accusing basically Ida Work of not being black enough, and another tweet where he tried accusing Wildcat of hating gay people, because he said the word faggot like a decade ago. I think that alone is enough to end him in this tier. He was never funny to begin with, so I don't even feel bad. Up next, D tier. Out of everyone left on this list, I think only 407 is going to end up here. He's not funny like Midland and Ohm, but he's not a jackass like them either. I simply just don't find him all that interesting, since his humor revolves more around trying to imitate a hyena than saying something interesting or humorous. Again, he's not that bad of a guy, but he's also not that funny of a guy. But then again, maybe there's more to him that I just don't know about. C tier, the middle of the road. The folks here could definitely do better, but they could also be doing worse. For my picks here, I choose Louie and Moo. Louie, because I do find him really funny sometimes, but when he's appeared in recent videos, he just isn't as funny as he used to be, you know? He can still do the squeaker voice perfectly fine, but nowadays it's more of just a gimmick. He rarely ever utilizes it. As for Moo, I put him here for a specific reason. The thing that prevents him from going higher is that he doesn't dabble into the dark humor side all that much, which I don't blame him for since he has a family to maintain, you know, and a brand to upkeep. But the thing that prevents him from going any lower is his soundboard moments. Whenever Moo gets angry, it's genuinely hilarious, because he tries so hard not to say cuss words, and sometimes he makes literal bird noises. I'm not even joking. Look up a Moose Knuckle Rage compilation. He makes eagle noises, and it's hilarious. So for those two things, he's gonna be in C tier. A tier, the funny guys of the squad. These guys were the buddies you knew in high school who you haven't talked to since the summer of '09. And those buddies are basically Nogla and Wildcat. These guys here may not be the funniest of the group, but I would definitely say they're the most entertaining. They're all underdogs in most PvP games they play. Nogla and Wildcat especially are surprisingly good when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies and the multiplayer. Well, maybe not gun game, but they're pretty good in the main multiplayer, regardless. Basically is right up there with them, although I don't see a whole lot of him playing those competitive games with them anymore. Anyways, that's A tier. Time for the main event, S tier. Alright, here it is, S tier, the funniest guys in the group. I know you may be wondering why exactly for each of them, so I'll explain why I'm putting them up here. Let's start with Delirious and Panda for the first two. Delirious and Panda. I'm putting them up here for the same reason. They're just unintentionally funny. Delirious especially will just say the dumbest shit sometimes and will always be knee-slapping hilarious when he does it. Panda, he just has a massively contagious laugh. You don't live for the jokes he makes, but you live for his reactions to other people's jokes. He always sounds like he's dying of laughter in everything that happens, and it's beyond funny. And if he happens to find a funny glitch in a game, man, get ready for your sides to hurt for 20 minutes on end. The other two, Terrorizer and Vanoss, well, you knew they were going to be up here. They're the two funniest guys in the group, hands down, no contest. Vanoss because he makes his edginess work. His jokes don't boil down to knock knock, N-word. He makes them work, and he'll say them at the right time, all the time. Terrorizer, in my opinion, is heavily underrated. I honestly wasn't a big fan of the soundboard initially, but I've come to love it. Also, he's a gigantic dick. Just a right old huge penis. A monstrous wiener. He's an asshole to everyone and anyone, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't fucking love him for it. If you somehow see this video, my life would be complete if you could just insult me harshly. He's just such a giga chad, and I have nothing but respect for the dude. And for that, he's staying in S tier forever. Well, unless he goes get cupcakes. So there, that's my fixed DieselPatches tier list of the Vanoss crew. I know it means literally nothing, but I felt like I had to make it. I'm pretty comfortable with how I rank the members here, but if you have any input of your own, feel free to do so in the comments. This is it for now. See you guys whenever I upload next. Peace.